You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
Right now at 7, a fatal crash in Wilson County claims the life of a Wichita woman.
And betting on sports in Kansas has attracted many, and more than $700 million worth of bets have been placed. But only a small percentage of that is going to help those addicted to gambling.
And we are calm, clear, and cold to start our Tuesday, but there are changes coming to this forecast that you may not necessarily like. We'll break it all down coming up.
4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thanks for joining us for the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. Joplin Fire Department battles a Monday afternoon blaze. Crews responded to a structure fire in the Blenville neighborhood of Joplin just after 3:30. Flames were visible on the south side of the structure. Now, flames had also spread into a small grass fire that was quickly contained. The JPD says the structure was vacant with no utilities. Crews had the flames out by just after 4 p.m. The Joplin Fire Department is investigating the cause. A semi-crash takes out a power pole, knocking out electricity for thousands of customers in southwest Missouri and sparking a fire. The crash happened in Carthage last night around Highway 96 in Jack Pine. That crash knocked over a power pole, and some electric customers lost power in Webb City, Oronogo, Alba, and Purcell, Missouri. At around 10 p.m., the Empire Electric power outage map showed about 4,200 customers without power. The crews had power restored by just after midnight. No word on whether anyone was hurt in the crash. Well, a Monday afternoon crash takes the life of a Wichita, Kansas woman. The crash happened just before 3 in the afternoon when a 2004 Nissan Maxima driven by Taylor Chrisman crossed the center line on Highway 400, 1 mile south of Fredonia. The Maxima struck the front of a 2015 Chevy Traverse that was driven by Shelley Nambane. The Traverse broke into several pieces. Nambane was taken to Wesley Medical Center with suspected serious injuries. Chrisman, who was 18 years old, was pronounced deceased. Well, betting on sports in Kansas attracts many, and more than $700 million worth of bets were placed last year. That's according to initial numbers released by the Kansas Lottery. That's just within the first 4 months that betting has been legal in the state. But as Sean Lodging reports, only a small percentage of that is going to help people dealing with problems gambling.
It's part of the experience for many Kansans now to watch a game and place a bet.
It can be fun, but you have to balance that with limiting yourself.
When that fun turns into a problem, South Central Kansas Problem Gambling Task Force Chair Stephanie Roberts works to help people overcome it. Sports betting, she says, has a higher risk of trouble.
Part of that is because of the mobile wagering. It allows for like instantaneous and immediate gambling.
Stephanie says something lacking from the Kansas sports betting law is funding to help those in crisis because of it.
Resources to assist people who develop problems have gradually declined in this state. We used to be known as the gold star.
The Kansas Problem Gambling and Addictions Grant Fund is one of the main ways to fund resources and services. It's expected to have about $8 million for fiscal year 2023, which runs between July of last year and June of this year. It's funded through 2% of state-owned casinos' gaming revenue and $80,000 from the State Gaming Revenue Fund transferred in once a year. From the state's share of sports betting revenue, the grant fund gets a small amount.
Instead of problem gambling coming first, all this other money comes out first.
Early estimates had sports betting making the state $1.8 million in 2023. $750,000 will go into the white-collar crime fund, and 80% of what's left goes to a fund to attract a professional sports team. The Problem Gambling and Addictions Grant Fund, Stephanie says, gets 2% of what remains. Based on the $1.8 million estimate,
the Problem Gambling Fund is only going to receive $4,200, which is nothing when you talk about we have people that we need to send to inpatient treatment programs.
Even if people need help, Stephanie says one of the biggest challenges is letting people know they're here.
I have people all the time that haven't heard about these services.
The Problem Gambling and Addictions Grant Fund covers counseling and treatment services at no out-of-pocket cost, along with education and prevention work.
We are colder this morning than we were 24 hours ago by about 20 degrees, but believe it or not, that's still above average for most of us. Beautiful sunrise here at 7th and Rangeline, and right now in Joplin, we're at 40. Northeast breeze at 6, making it feel like 36 out there. Across the region, we have had some communities at about average as we start the day, but they're even starting to warm up. Right now, Sedan's about the only one at the average low temperature. We had 32 Neodesha, 33 Parsons, 34 Miami, 39 in Neosho, and we're up to 41 in Carthage this morning. As we go through today, we're looking at a high of 59. Clouds will begin to increase late this morning and continue to build as we go through the day, but we'll have considerably calmer winds. And then tonight, lows will drop back to the lower 50s and just kind of hover around there as we see showers and thunderstorm chances increasing. The good news is no strong storms, no severe weather expected. We're just looking at some good old rainmakers. So today's your last good day to enjoy the mild weather, because even though we're 60 tomorrow, it's going to be while it rains. Once the rain clears out of here, we get on the backside of this, we drop down to 33. We are back to normal, but colder in the 40s as we head through the rest of the week. Some additional rain chances possible on Saturday, maybe some morning snow on Sunday, and 42, and then we're back up to 47 on Monday.
All right, well, coming up, the SEK Humane Society's team lead, Ramsey, is stopping in not only to introduce us to your potential new best friend, but also to talk about some upcoming events that the Humane Society is hosting.
And later, a former NBA player wins a car on The Price is Right, but there's a rather large issue. He might not be able to fit in it. You're watching the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14.
In Health Watch this morning, today, well, Monday actually, was Blue Monday, a day thought by at least some to be the most depressing day of the year. Whether you believe that or not, this time of year when it's cold and gets dark early can sometimes be a downer. Mandy Gaither has more on how you can break those winter blues.
The winter holidays are behind us, but the weather outside can still be frightful, and your next day off is too long off. If this all sounds gloomy, you may have the blues.
The body just kind of shuts down and wants to hibernate.
In the winter months, millions of Americans can suffer varying degrees of seasonal affective disorder. Cleveland Clinic psychologist Kia Ray Pruitt says the exact cause is unclear. One theory is that it may be due to reduced activity of serotonin in the brain, which helps regulate mood. Some believe sunlight helps maintain those levels, which is why winter blues can happen when it gets darker earlier.
Sometimes you have to kind of come up with your own way to feel energized.
Pruitt says start by engaging in self-care. Healthy eating and physical activity aren't just good for the body, but your mind too. Stay connected to others, whether it's friends or family. Having a support system is key, and change your environment so it's more soothing.
Have things around you that appeal to one or more of your five senses.
If you've tried to break out of the blues and still feel down, other treatment options may be right for you.
You might be feeling a sense of worthlessness or hopelessness. Maybe you're losing interest in activities. If that's going on for at least 2 weeks, it may actually be time to reach out and talk to a therapist.
Some possible treatments include light therapy, antidepressant medications, psychotherapy, and taking vitamin D. If you think you suffer from seasonal affective disorder, talk to your doctor about which treatment or combination of treatments may be right for you. Well, a global study shows women who contract COVID-19 during pregnancy are more at risk of developing health complications than pregnant women who are not infected with the virus. The study analyzed data from a dozen countries, including the United States, but the research was done early in the pandemic before most people were vaccinated or infected. The results are sobering. The study found pregnant women who had COVID-19 were nearly 4 times more likely to get admitted to an intensive care unit, more than 15 times more likely to need ventilation, 7 times more likely to die, and had a higher risk of developing preeclampsia, serious blood clots, and hypertension. While there are several types of strep infections cases, one in particular, strep A, is on the rise in kids. Doctors are also citing a rise in rare and deadly complications related to strep A, with invasive strep A diseases already responsible for at least 2 deaths here in the U.S. and more than a dozen in the U.K. Jackie Ibanez has more from health officials on how you can help keep children safe.
Hot on the heels of a CDC advisory warning parents about a rise in strep A infections among kids. Health officials around the country are also sounding the alarm, citing a spike in the number of invasive strep A related diseases impacting children.
Group A strep is a bacteria that normally colonizes our throat and our skin. However, if the child lacks immunity to that particular strain, the streptococcus can cause what's commonly known as strep throat.
While symptoms of strep throat can include extreme fever, muscle pain, sore throat, and neck swelling, Group A strep can also cause rare but potentially deadly invasive diseases.
For instance, a child could aspirate the bacteria into their lungs and it could cause pneumonia. The bacteria could also go from the throat into their bloodstream and infect the connective tissue below our skin or the muscles below our skin.
Because strep can spread between children in crowded spaces, health officials say school closures and mask wearing brought on by COVID-19 previously led to decreases in invasive strep-related diseases.
Invasive disease decreased by 30% in 2020.
Doctors advise not sharing eating utensils and practicing strict hand washing routines to help avoid getting sick.
And because untreated strep A can result in serious conditions, doctors also recommend having your child take a strep test to rule out if they have Group A strep or another strain.
We are cold to start our Tuesday, but still above normal, believe it or not. I know you're going to step outside and go, how is this above normal? But trust me, it is. And you're going to be able to tell the difference in the next couple of days. Beautiful sunrise on the MoDOT camera at I-44 and Range Line, and same beautiful sunrise on our camera at 7th and Range Line as well. And again, we're a bit chillier today. We're at 40 in Joplin. It's about 20 degrees colder now than where we were 24 hours ago. Feels like 36 with a northeast breeze at 6. Across the region, we are chilly, but we'll start to warm up. We're at 30 in Iola, 33 Parsons, 35 Chautauqua, 34 Miami, 39 Neosho, and 41 in Carthage this morning. As we go through today, we're looking at a high of about 59 degrees. Some of us might even creep into the lower 60s. We'll have mostly cloudy skies. Clouds start building in late this morning, so these clear skies will not last. And then as we head into tonight, we're down to the lower 50s because we're just really going to hover right around the lower 50s. And we also see shower and thunderstorm chances increasing. The good news is we're not looking at any strong or severe storms, just some good old-fashioned rainmakers across the area. And as you all know, we need as much rain as we can possibly get. Here we go, 5 a.m. We got a few more of those scattered showers and thunderstorms across the area. We go through the morning and into the afternoon. They become much more widespread across the region, and temperatures look good. But then we start to get on the backside of this system later in the evening tomorrow, and temperatures will drop rather quickly as we get down into the 30s for tomorrow night. So let's take a look at that 7-day. If you're wanting to get out and enjoy mild weather, today's the day to do it. Because tomorrow, when it's warm and in the 60s, it's going to be while it's raining. Then we get cold, down to 33 for a low. We're back to normal for the next several days. Unfortunately, it's also going to feel very cold compared to what we've seen. Got a decent day Thursday and Friday for us. Maybe some rain on Saturday, which could transition into some early morning light snow on Sunday. Not anticipating anything significant, but there might be some slick spots because we are going to get cold overnight as well. And as we look ahead to the rest of next week, up to 52 Tuesday, which is going to feel pretty pleasant. Maybe some evening rain. We drop back down to 35, maybe even a wintry mix by next Wednesday. We're going to keep an eye on that system for you as well. And as you see, after a brief warm-up Tuesday, we just kind of hover at normal for the next several days. We'll be back with more right after this.
Welcome back. We've got Ramsey Witterstetter joining us this morning from the SEK Humane Society. And you might think this dog looks familiar, and that's because he kind of is. This is Mudbud. Tell us a little bit about Mudbud.
Yeah, so last time we had Butterball on, and this is Mudbud, which is his sister. They are 4 months old, and they are Husky and Carolina dog mixes. They are both available now, so if you like their faces and you are interested, then come put in an application.
They're cute. How big do you think they'll get, this particular breed?
I believe they will probably get like medium to large, so probably at least 50 pounds, I would say. They've got a lot of loose skin. Their feet are pretty big, so they'll probably get a little bit bigger than this for sure.
All right, that's right. So we've got the boy here this morning. Super cute and very quiet too.
Yeah, they're super calm and well behaved for sure.
That's nice. How old are they right now?
They are 4 months old.
4 months old. Okay, so you guys have a couple of events coming up. The first one is not this Saturday, but next Saturday, the 28th.
Yes, so on the 28th, we have our Pet Sense adoption event coming up. So we will probably bring about 2 to 3 dogs over to Pet Sense, and they will be available for adoption on site, which is super exciting. So they'll get to kind of be socialized and just enjoy hanging out at the store.
They come by and say hi, for sure. And you guys also have a special thing going on for Valentine's Day. That sounds
Yes, that one's super exciting. So on February 4th and February 5th, we will have an event called Will You Be My Date? So basically, you can come in, browse through all the dogs we have, and then once you find one you like, you can make a $10 donation, and that will cover the rabies cost for a future intake. And then you basically get to take them out on the town. We'll take your picture. You could take them to a nature trail. I love going to the one in Frontenac. You could take them to Pet Sense or Claws and Paws. I usually like to get them like their own little toy or treat that they can have. So it's a super fun event.
Yeah, great way to give back to the dogs too.
Yeah.
And help out a future dog that might be in take. All right. How many, you got, obviously, you're the team leader there.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about what you do at the
Yeah,
SCK
so
Society.
I mostly focus on enrichment kind of stuff. So different things like Kongs with peanut butter to like help relieve kennel stress, and just making sure the cleaning procedures that we have in place are working correctly, and kind of adjusting things like that need to be adjusted. So mostly just focused on enrichment, making sure these guys are happy and healthy. Any concerns that I see, I point out so we can get those all taken care of. Just fun stuff like that.
All right. Well, it was wonderful having you on the show this morning.
Yeah, thank you
Lovely
so much
to
for
see
having us.
Mudbud. And now to know that they're both available for adoption, that's great too, because they're the cutest dogs for
They
sure.
are. They are super cute and
Very well
fluffy.
behaved. Of course, they're puppies though.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Well, if you would like to adopt a dog, tell us real quickly, how do you find out more information and when you guys are open?
Yeah, so our hours that we're open on Saturdays, 12 to 4, Sundays, 1 to 4. We are also open on the weekdays by appointment only. But if you want to put in an application, you can go to our website, which is sckhumanesociety.com, and you can click on their pictures and put in an application.
All right, sounds good. And we will be right back. We take this time to honor today's four-state hero, Gary Peschel Jr. Private First Class Peschel served in the Army in 2006. He served in Iraq with the 501st Forward Support Battalion. During his service, he earned numerous medals. A native of Carthage, Missouri, we thank you, today's four-state hero, Gary Peschel Jr.
Big man, small vehicle. A former NBA player had a blast appearing as a contestant on the game show The Price is Right recently, and he won a new car!
Nice, but the question is, can he fit into it? Jeannie Moose explains.
It's The Price is Right.
They may yell,
Come on down.
but this contestant seemed permanently up. Former NBA veteran Jared Jeffries is so tall, the camera had to zoom out.
1980.
To fit him in, he towered over everyone, including the host of The Price is Right. And every time he got something right,
Jared.
he high-fived other contestants like he used to high-five his teammates. Overexcited, especially when he saw this.
You are going to look great in your brand new car.
The price may be right, but the car is tight.
How big are you and how little is it?
I'm 6'11".
Jeffries recalled he recently took an Uber that was a Corolla.
I had to sit sideways in the back seat.
But did that dampen his enthusiasm?
Oh,
Not a bit. Jeffries grew up watching The Price is Right. Just being on the show was on his bucket list. And then he nailed the price.
Yes!
He had to stoop deeply to peer into that Corolla. Jeffries says it was more thrilling than turning pro.
I was genuinely more excited about winning on The Price is Right than I was being drafted.
Though he made millions playing basketball, he told us it's still a kick when someone gives you something for free.
The price may be right, but the car size is a little wrong.
There's no chance I fit in that car. I'm gonna give it to my daughter. She can have it.
His teenage daughter, seen here a couple of years ago. You get a special license plate frame from the show.
It says, I won this car on The Price is Right.
So if you see a ruby red Corolla with this on it driving around LA, give it a toot.
Okay. Hey.
Jeannie Mose, CNN.
Yes.
New York.
That thankfully is not a problem that I have. I just can't get the seats high enough so I can see over the steering wheel. So
I can see where that would be a problem.
that is a bit of a problem. I need a booster seat in the
Can you
front
touch
seat.
the pedals?
Barely.
Put blocks
Just
on them
barely.
for help.
Yeah. I wear the Herman Munster shoes so that I can reach down there.
You put the seat up to where the steering wheel's right here.
I think we don't have to sit that close, but man, it can be tough sometimes. We'll be right back after this.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. It's currently 7:30, and we have developing news out of Cherokee County, Kansas. Just after 5 p.m. yesterday, Cherokee County Sheriff's deputies were dispatched southeast of Crestline, Kansas, after receiving a call about a man pointing a firearm at residents. Deputies responded to the area and located the suspect driving a truck. When the deputies attempted to stop the suspect, he fled into a field and began firing upon the deputies before exiting his truck, fleeing on foot and continuing to fire at the deputies. The deputies returned fire and the suspect was located deceased in the tree line. None of the officers were injured during the incident. Authorities in Cyril, Oklahoma say the search for a missing 4-year-old girl is now considered a recovery operation. Athena Brownfield has not been seen since last Tuesday. On that day, her 5-year-old sister was found outside her relative and caretaker's home by a postal carrier. Athena and her sister had been in the care of Alyssa and Ivan Adams for at least a year. Alyssa Adams is facing charges of 2 counts of child neglect. Ivan Adams faces 1 count of first-degree murder and 1 count of child neglect. He was arrested in Arizona last week and is awaiting extradition to Oklahoma. Well, a Monday afternoon crash takes the life of a Wichita, Kansas woman. The crash happened just before 3 in the afternoon when a 2004 Nissan Maxima driven by Taylor Chrisman crossed the center line on U-400 1 mile south of Fredonia. The Maxima struck the front of a 2015 Chevy Traverse driven by Shelley Nambane. The Traverse broke into several pieces. Nambane was taken to Wesley Medical Center with suspected serious injuries. Chrisman, who was 18 years old, was pronounced dead. Joplin Fire Department battles a Monday afternoon blaze. Crews responded to a structure fire in the Blenville neighborhood of Joplin just after 3:30. The flames were visible on the south side of the structure, and the flames had also spread into a small grass fire that was quickly contained. The JPD says the structure was vacant with no utilities. Crews had the flames out by just after 4. Joplin Fire Department is investigating the cause. Well, this morning we're discussing football teams and their goals to get to the Super Bowl.
Now, despite initial reports that DeMar Hamlin would be at the Buffalo Bills Stadium on Sunday, he instead watched the game from home. He tweeted this about an hour before kickoff, saying, quote, "My heart is with my guys as they compete today, supporting from home as I focus on my recovery. Nothing I want more than to be out there with them."
Hamlin visited the Bills practice facility on Saturday, and one of his teammates posted a picture on social media. You can see he was all smiles. This comes just 2 weeks after he collapsed on the field.
Now, Hamlin was discharged from the hospital last Wednesday. He spent a week in critical condition, and he inspired his teammates, and he's inspiring people in Buffalo and all around the world. And that brings us to our question for you this morning. What's your favorite part of the Super Bowl? So far, we got a lot of choices there, but 16% of you say the game and the commercials. 7% of you say the food, the halftime show. Time with family and friends also got 16%, and 7% of you say something else, with 31% of you saying all of those things are phenomenal. Make sure you vote through our website, through our app, take part in discussion on our Facebook page. What's not so phenomenal is the temperature changes that we have on the way. We're at 40 in Joplin right now, so that puts us about 20 degrees cooler than where we were yesterday. We're feeling like 36 with northeast breeze at 6. Across the area, we're cold, but still above normal by a bit. 32 Yates Center, 35 Chanute, 33 Chetopa, 34 Miami, 39 Neosho, 40 Carthage, and 37 in Lamar. As we go through today, we're looking at highs in the upper 50s, maybe even some lower 60s out there. Clouds increase later this morning, and we will be mostly cloudy as we head through the day. And then this evening, we see shower and thunderstorm chances increase, with lows hovering right in the lower 50s. The good news is no strong or severe thunderstorms expected, just some good rainmakers. Today's your day to enjoy the mild weather, because even though we're 60 tomorrow, that's going to be while it rains. On the backside of this, we get cold, down to 33. Then we get cold but normal as we hover in the 40s through the next several days. Maybe some rain Saturday, transitioning to some early morning snow on Sunday with a low of 32. Down to 25 Sunday night, back up to 47 on Monday. We're back with more right after this. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. Our good friend Charlene Patton joining us yet again from the Kansas Soybean Commission. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
We've had some amazing recipes so far this month. We've had the soup bowl, which was amazing. Then we had the actual soup that goes into the bowl.
That's right.
And now you've got a little, what looks like a dessert
That's
dish
right.
for
We're
us.
doing a whole meal, aren't we?
All right.
I love this recipe. It is a apple blueberry pear crisp, but it has some kind of interesting techniques for putting it together that really makes it delicious. What I've done is, this is our crumble mixture, and this is flour, brown sugar, oatmeal, and some cinnamon that I put together with 1/2 cup of margarine. That's 1 stick, and that's our soy product.
Okay.
We blended that together with a pastry blender, or you could use 2 forks, a knife, but want to make it real crumbly. And then you put half of it in the bottom, and there we go, just like that. There, and I'll show that. Just put that in there. Okay. And then we're going to add our fruit. So you've got apples here. I'll let you add all the apples.
Okay.
And I've got this if they don't want to come out for you. And you could use any kind of apple for this recipe. And you know, to save money when we're all looking for ways to do that, you could use any kind of fruit too. So if you have fruits there that you want to substitute, do that. Then this is our pears, chopped pears. We'll add that. I like the combination of all these different fruits together. And then you've got blueberries. So when you go to the grocery store, look to see what's on sale, and then you can add those to make this. Great. Doesn't that look good?
That does look great so far.
Okay, so then what I did here ahead of time here, this is like a simple syrup. It's 1 cup of sugar, 1 cup of water, and some cornstarch, and a little vanilla. And I brought that to a boil so that it would all dissolve, and then we're just going to pour that over it. Look at that.
Oh, wow, that looks amazing.
Yeah, it makes it a different type of sweetener then, but instead of adding more sugar to it, we've made that syrup. And then we're going to top it with the rest of our crumb topping.
Okay. See, that's what I love about these meals. They're always so simple. They look complicated when you look at it, you know, when it's done, but when you're actually putting it together, it's extremely easy to do.
Good, because you want everybody to try it. Put that in the oven at 350 degrees and bake it for about an hour. It'll be about 50 to 60 minutes till it turns golden brown. And then look at our wonderful dessert over here. And I love how those blueberries really kind of show through, but oh my gosh, it's really delicious. You can serve it with whipped cream, you could serve it with ice cream, you can serve it hot out of the oven, or you can wait and serve it after it's cooled.
Boy, it sounds delicious any of those ways. So, Charlene, thank you again for bringing us some incredible recipes so far this month. We've got a lot more of the KOAM Morning News after this. And, of course, don't forget you can go to our website, KOAMNewsNow.com, for all of this information and more. We'll be right back. Well, we've got an absolutely beautiful sunrise, clear skies on the MoDOT camera at I-44 and Range Line, and clear skies as far as the eye can see for now, but it will start to cloud up a little bit later. We'll talk about that. We're at 40 in Joplin right now, feeling like 36 with a northeast breeze at about 6 miles an hour. Across the area, we're colder than yesterday, but still above average. We got 35 Chanute, 34 Chetopa, Miami, 38 Neosho, 36 Lamar, and 32 in Nevada this morning. We're heading for highs in the upper 50s to possibly even some lower 60s, and as the morning progresses, clouds will start to build in, and we'll be mostly cloudy to just plain old cloudy by this evening, down to 50 by 8. And the thing is our overnight lows are just going to hover in the lower 50s, and then we're going to start to see some showers, maybe even some thunderstorms building in late tonight and into early tomorrow morning, associated with a system that's going to make some big changes for us. So by 5 a.m. we got scattered showers and thunderstorms. As we head into the noon hour, more widespread showers and possibly some thunderstorms. No strong or severe storms expected, just some good old-fashioned rainmakers here. But as we get on the backside of this system, temperatures will begin to drop rather quickly. So let's take a look at 7-day. We're up to 60 tomorrow. But all of that mild weather is going to be confined to the rainy portion of the day, so you're not really going to be able to enjoy it. So enjoy today. Down to 33 tomorrow night. We're cold, but back to normal as we head through the next several days. We have a couple of good days Thursday and Friday, up to 49 Friday. Maybe some rain Saturday, and if it holds on through the night, when we drop back down to freezing, could result in some early morning snow on Sunday. No major accumulations or anything crazy expected, but could see some slick spots out there. Be careful. 42 Sunday. Down to 25, up to 47 Monday. We have one more mild day next Tuesday at 52. Then we return back to cold but normal conditions with some evening rain, maybe a wintry mix next Wednesday, 42 degrees. And of course, our overnight lows are going to begin to tank back down to normal temperatures as well. As a look at your forecast now, here's Tanya Bach with a look at Consumer Watch.
On Consumer Watch this morning, last year was a wild ride for the U.S. housing market. So what's in store for 2023? Economist and the CEO of the largest mortgage lending company in the U.S. weigh in on what we can expect this year. Cole Higgins takes a look.
When it comes to the housing market, are we in for another roller coaster ride in 2023?
Next 12, 18, 24 months in housing is going to be difficult.
Last year, mortgage rates doubled, sales plummeted, and many would-be buyers and sellers were sidelined. In recent months, home prices have cooled off from their blockbuster gains from spring 2020 to the spring of 2022, when home prices rose nearly 40%.
House prices rose very strongly during much of the pandemic, and we're just retracing some of those price gains.
Economist Mark Zandi says the direction of the market this year will be determined by the inventory, the broader economy, and mortgage rates. According to Freddie Mac, the 30-year fixed-rate mortgage averaged 6.33% in the week ending January 12th. That's down from 7.08% last fall, but well above 3.45% from a year ago. The CEO of Rocket Mortgage says relatively high mortgage rates have caused homeowners to reconsider selling their homes, and that's leading to higher competition for those fewer homes on the market.
But we're not seeing 15 offers on one home at this point in time. We're starting to see prices come down a little bit in certain markets.
So when would be a good time to buy a home this year? Experts say avoid the spring selling season when homes tend to sell for a seasonal premium when buyers are committed to getting it done. And if you're waiting for prices to get back down, some experts say you could be left holding your breath.
I wouldn't say it's necessarily a buyer's market yet. What I would say is it's a pretty even market between buyer and seller.
We'll be right back with more after this, but first let's take a look at the market prices before the opening bell. In the future, neighborhoods could be dominated by 3D printed homes.
For now, the technology continues expanding as a number of builders and engineering experts say the machines offer a slew of benefits.
Ashley Stromier has a look at the first ever 2-story 3D printed home now under construction here in the U.S.
At a quick glance, it may seem like an ordinary construction site. But on this plot of land in Houston, Texas, a machine is hard at work building the first ever 2-story 3D printed house in the nation. It's what some developers are calling the future of home construction.
Even though this is a single-family house, the intention of this project is to actually think about how we can design and develop and print multi-family housing.
Working in sections, the printer distributes an exact amount of concrete, building each wall layer by layer. Engineering experts say 3D printed homes could eventually improve the nation's ongoing affordable housing crisis because they allow for faster construction.
Time could be reduced anywhere from typical, let's say, 6 months to maybe a month and a half.
But one of the biggest advantages is their ability to reduce waste.
You don't have partially used lumber that you need to dispose of. You don't have extra concrete that you need to dispose of. What you have is exactly the amount of material that you need.
3D printers also lower the amount of workers needed on a job, which can save companies money in the long run.
Requires, only 4 to 5 people, crew on site to print a whole house. Also, it takes a lot of the heavy lifting, the labor out of the human.
Well, most 3D printed structures are still more expensive than traditionally constructed ones.
But officials hope to see a drop in price as the technology becomes more mainstream. So that's certainly interesting to be building houses that way. And they're right. I mean, think about it. I bought my first ever DVD player when they were still a new thing in '99, and it cost $200. And it could play DVDs and CDs. And that was all it could do for $200. Now you can go to Walmart and get one for like $50, and it connects to Wi-Fi, has Netflix, plays your Blu-rays, does this, has a USB port. So as the technology becomes, it'll get cheap.
My son and I were talking about this, and he thinks 3D printing will be the future of construction when we finally move to Mars.
More than likely, that makes sense. It'd be easy to transport the materials that way. Well, it's going to be easy to stay warm today. Even though we're cold to start, we're going to warm up later. We're at 40 in Joplin right now. Northeast breeze at 6, making it feel like 36. Across the region, cold temperatures to start, but we will warm up. 30 Iola, 35 Chanute, 34 Chatopa, Miami, 40 in Carthage, 29 Fort Scott, 32 in Nevada. Now for today, we're looking at highs in the upper 50s to possibly lower 60s out there. Clouds start increasing later this morning. We will remain mostly cloudy through the day, but the winds are considerably calmer, which is a great thing. And as we head into this evening, lows hovering in the lower 50s, and then we'll start to see showers, maybe even a couple of thunderstorms building in. The good news is we're not anticipating any severe weather or any strong storms, just some rainmakers, which we need. So here's the thing. Today is your day to enjoy the really nice weather, because tomorrow, even though, we're up to 60, it's going to be raining through all of that, because once we get on the backside of this system, temperatures begin to fall in the evening once the rain moves out. We're down to 33. 44 on Thursday, 49 on Friday, more rain chances possible Saturday, 48. Then we drop down to about freezing, which could transition some of this rain into a light snow by Sunday morning. Not looking at significant accumulations or anything, but slick spots definitely possible. 42 on Sunday, 47 Monday. Then we get warm again for Tuesday of next week, up to 52. Rain showers build in late. We get cold, could turn into a wintry mix next Wednesday, and temperatures go right back to normal as we head through the next several days. We got more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Here's what's happening today. Lawmakers on both sides of the aisle are demanding more information on classified documents found at President Biden's former office and his home in Delaware. House Republicans had asked to see visitors' logs for the president's personal residence, but a White House spokesman told CBS News they do not exist. A special counsel has been appointed to investigate the handling of the documents. Meanwhile, the president is planning to travel to California later this week to see damage caused by weeks of deadly storms. The extreme weather brought heavy rainfall, flooding, mudslides, and snow to the west. Drier conditions are expected to bring some relief to the region later this week. And a memorial is set to take place today for a Memphis man who died after a confrontation with police. Tyree Nichols died January 10th, 3 days after officers stopped him for reckless driving. Tennessee Bureau of Investigation and the Memphis Police Department are both investigating.
We've got highs heading into the upper 50s to lower 60s again today. Calm winds and clouds increasing through the morning and afternoon hours. Then we head into tonight. Lows will hover in the lower 50s. And we're going to watch shower and thunderstorm chances increase this evening as well. But the good news is no strong or severe thunderstorms expected, just bringing us some rain that we absolutely need. Now tomorrow, even though it's going to be 60, that's going to be during the rain. Now, once we get on the backside of the system, we get chilly down to 33 tomorrow night. We're back down to normal temperatures. For the rest of the week, maybe some rain Saturday, turning into some light snow Sunday morning. No major accumulations, but watch out for slick spots, and then back up to 47 by next Monday.
Well, today is National Bootleggers Day, a time to celebrate the repeal of Prohibition 90 years ago. You might say it's the complete opposite of Dry January.
January 17th also happens to be the birthday of legendary bootlegger Al Capone, and Templeton Rye his favorite whiskey. Whether illegal, untaxed liquor was made by moonshiners or smuggled by bootleggers like Capone, Prohibition lasted 13 long years.
And some present-day liquor like Granddaddy Mim's pays tribute to original moonshine recipes. Moonshine runners are even credited with the inspiration for NASCAR racing.
It's suggested you celebrate National Bootleggers Day by raising a glass of your favorite spirits. It's also a good time to learn about speakeasies, flappers, the Roaring Twenties, and America during the Prohibition era. So lots of interesting history there during Prohibition, even interesting local history you should check out.
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
Well, thank you so much for letting us put the good in your morning. We're going to be back with more news and weather today at noon.
Have a great morning and an even better day.